Welcome to this exciting episode of Gen AI Live. My name is Brian Terry, and I'm a Senior Partner Solution Architect here at AWS, focusing on Gen AI migration. And I'm joined here with my co-host and good friend, Parijat. Parijat, how about you introduce yourself?
Thank you, Brian. And hello, everyone. My name is Parijat Avasthi. Like Brian, I'm also a Senior Partner Solution Architect, and I help my partners build migrations and modernization solutions. And very often I get asked, how do we do migrations and modernizations using Gen AI? And more so, Agentic AI. So this thing is almost everywhere these days.
Absolutely, it is. And thank you, audience, for joining us. If this is your first time joining us, we're super excited that you're here. If this is not a first time joining us, we're happy that you're back. And you can join us every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time to find out about the latest and greatest in Gen AI and what AWS and its partners is doing in that space. So, Parijat, we have an exciting show today with a couple partners, just like we always do. But first, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the industry and a little bit about the news. What have you heard around the Gen
Yeah.
AI space, in the Gen AI space?
Yeah, I mean, there's hardly any day that goes by where this something or the other is not happening in the space. So I've got a few things, from AWS. So we announced something around AWS Transform. And for people who don't know what Transform is, AWS Transform, so it is a GenAI service. Surprise, surprise. It helps you migrate and modernize your workloads using GenAI. And this service is comprised of like 4 agents, and those agents are Transform Assessment, AWS Transform VMware, Mainframe, and .NET. So this announcement is specific to the assessment agent. So what it does is now AWS Transform Assessment, it now includes detached storage analysis. So using Transform, you will be now able to assess the storage in the form of SAN storage, like storage area network attached storage, file servers, object storage, virtual environment. And assessment, AWS Transform Assessment will now provide you migration recommendations to appropriate AWS services, including Amazon S3, EBS, and FSx. And I've been told by our partners, and this makes their life pretty easy, when they are able to do the end-to-end assessment of the infrastructure. And the second announcement is around the Anthropic's Claude Sonnet 4. So now Anthropic Claude Sonnet 4, it's now available with global cross-region inference in Amazon Bedrock. So what it means is you can now use the global Claude Sonnet 4 instance profile to route your inference requests to any supported commercial AWS region for processing, optimizing available resources, and enabling higher model throughput. And like I said, this is supported in, you can do that in any supported commercial region, not just within a specific geography. And finally, I will talk about some of the events which are upcoming, because now we are heading into the later part of the year, starting with AWS Summits. So we have 3 upcoming summits happening in Zurich. I think that's happening tomorrow. So if you are in that area, so feel free to attend that summit and learn about all the things AWS is doing in this space, GenAI. We have a summit coming up in Los Angeles, September 17, and Bogota in October 9. And finally, we are getting into the reInvent season, so which will happen from December 1st to December 5. So get ready to attend the session virtually in person and learn about all the exciting announcements that AWS will be making at this biggest event of the year for us.
Absolutely, that's super exciting news, Fair John, especially about the reinvent coming up pretty soon. That's always exciting time, and it's always an exciting event for our customers and for AWS and our partners.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
So, so I think we support partners. This event, this session is for the partners. We bring in
Okay.
exciting partners and learn about all the amazing, innovative things that they are doing. It. So who have we got today?
Oh, we've got some exciting partners. I don't want to just, introduce them yet because it's just exciting. But I can say that they're extremely good partners with AWS, and they're going to show some really cool things with Gen AI in the Gen AI space. And it's going to be a great experience. And just strap in, and this is going to be an awesome hour of talking about Gen AI and some really cool things. So. Yeah. So
Yeah.
without teasing any more, how about we just bring in our first guest and let them introduce themselves?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, one of my favorite partners. So let's begin. How about you introduce yourselves?
Hello. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Enrique. I'm with Avahi here and based in Mexico City. I'm a solutions architect specialized in AI and ML.
All right.
Hello,
Welcome.
I'm Diana. I'm also based in Mexico City. I'm a data scientist at Avahi, and I'm specialized in natural language processing and AI.
Yes, welcome to the show. I'm
Um,
super excited to have you on. You guys are one of my favorite partners because I get to work closely with you on Gen AI migrations but for the rest of the world that doesn't know who Avahi is, can you talk a little bit about your company and what you guys do?
Well, we are an AWS Premier Partner, and we specialize in three tasks mostly, which are migrations, as you mentioned, and a special part for data analysis, and also Gen AI in a separate way. So we work with every space that there is a chance to apply Gen AI, for example, and that goes from different enterprises, you name it. Whenever there's a space, Avahi can be in. So we have had use cases with the healthcare industry, with education, manufacturing, finances. So you name it, we have in there.
awesome.
Awesome.
So, and yeah, Diana.
Yeah, I think Enrique said pretty much it, but I'm in the delivery team of GenAI, so we solve any kind of fantasies of the clients about or related to GenAI. So it's pretty exciting. I think we are like cutting edge with technologies and solutions.
Awesome. And interestingly, the title of this session is Crosswords at Scale Hybrid AI with Amazon Bedrock. So I think let's start our conversation from there. Why crosswords?
Yeah.
So, well, it was a problem we found interesting to solve. There is a space there to see how good are Gen AI, LLMs, the foundational models we got there in Amazon Bedrock to tackle these problems. And we found that they are still struggling with this kind of combinatory problems. So, we are also computer scientists and researchers as well. So, we found it interesting as to start learning and digging how we can combine the power of traditional algorithms with Gen AI as to bring something interesting and solve this kind of a funny game as our crosswords. So that's the main the main impulse we have over this problem.
I'm super excited to dive into this to understand like why LLMs kind of struggle with crossword puzzles and what's the implication. What can we do about that to kind of improve their accuracy? So yeah, this is going to be an awesome conversation. So let's talk a little bit about that. What are the problems with LLMs and dealing with crosswords?
Okay, actually, LLMs can, I know like nowadays we all think like LLMs, we know not all, but a lot of people think LLMs can solve everything. But actually, the problem with this particular situation or this particular problem here is that LLMs doesn't have sense of special location or relative positions in a grid. And crossword actually it's a matrix, it's a grid. So LLM doesn't have this knowledge of or sense of position or relative position. I think that's a more pretty accurate term for that. Actually, LLMs can only manage sequences. So the problem is that if you try to generate directly with an LLM, even if it sounds like possible because we are talking about words and hints and things like that, sounds like an LLM could do it, but actually no, because of this limitation of a special sense of relative position. So that's the first reason why an LLM can't solve or can't create or populate a grid when we are talking about crosswords. But there is not the only limitation. Actually, LLMs have proved that they are pretty bad at solving combinatory problems. And this crossword generation, it's a combinatory problem.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes
so
sense.
essentially what we're saying is not everything needs to be solved with Gen AI or LLMs. There are use cases which will require the good old traditional ML algorithms, like combinatorial, solving those kind of problems. Yeah, that makes sense, and I think that's why the hybrid AI approach, right? That you guys are taking.
Indeed, that's a good message for all the solutions architects out there, as to start scoping their projects in a proper manner, not just go with the buzzword of Gen AI and stamp everything that this company is using Gen AI. There are also other solutions that you can comply with, and like when we have a hammer, we see everything as a nail. But there are solutions out there, and we are now exploring combining traditional algorithms with Gen AI, which makes a powerful combo.
It's interesting.
So,
Interesting.
so where do you see the synergy between Gen AI and algorithmic optimization showing its strongest impact, right? Any specific use cases that you can talk about, examples with your customer interactions?
Yeah, actually, we had prepared like a deck of slides. I don't know if you want to go.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, well, yes, this is going to be the presentation. Thank you, Diana. Thank you for having us here. And well, we're going to be talking about the hybrid AI with Amazon Bedrock. And as we mentioned, we are from Avahi. So, Enrique Moreno, a solutions architect, and Diana, the data scientist, she introduced already herself. Thank you. And this is the agenda that we would like to cover in this presentation. As we're going to be seeing here, and it's part of the questions you already asked, but we are going to be see how we're looking at crosswords here and why they matter. Then we will explain what an NP hard problem is. We're going to see also the future or the applicability of this kind of a combination of hybrid AI in a simple way. We will also walk through a live demo. You're going to see the crossword working indeed. And we're going to talk about the strengths and limitations of traditional algorithms and see how Gen AI from AWS works alongside those algorithms, not to replace them, but to create a synergy and enhance them. So we're going to connect all of this with enterprise application, which was the last question we had here, so you can see the real world impact that we have. So this is the first slide we have, crosswords meet AWS. And well, we got to think about crosswords just as a funny game. At the first glance, they look simple. So what are they? What are the components? We've got a grid, we've got some words, we've got some clues, and we need to set together the words in specific places in orders, as Diana mentioned, to populate the grid. The same happens with supply chains. We can see it, for example, is just to populate the products in a specific place. But that could be easy if we have only two products. But once we try to solve them and to populate this grid in the crosswords, or if you talk to an enterprise level for a supply chain, we realize the complexity grows as in an exponential way. So in the crosswords, one wrong word and suddenly half the puzzle is blocked. Like you don't have more options and ways to move ahead. In the supply chain, it happens the same. One late truck and you disrupt the whole network. Like you're going to be bringing delays, not putting the products in the specific places. So this creates different bottlenecks that you have to consider. So this hidden complexity is what mathematicians and also computer scientists call NP hard. And well, that's the key for what we are going to be telling today. So what are NP hard problems, Diana?
Yeah, what are NP-hard problems? Okay, I have prepared an analogy here for everyone that hasn't studied computational theory. But basically, we have different problems in complexity theory here in computation, like the P problems, NP problems, and NP-hard problems. P problems are the problems that we solve in that the complexity of the problem grows directly with the size, but the size of the input, but in a polynomially way. And for example, we want to bake a cake. So we have the algorithm or the recipe to bake the cake, and we can just bake it, right? And maybe we can cake 100, but it only will take 100 times to cake 100 cakes. But if we want to find a recipe that 100 people loves, then we have to try many different kinds of recipes, right? So this problem doesn't grow polynomially, this grow exponentially. And these are the NP problems, the problems that we can solve efficiently. And even in the best kind of computers, it can take years and years and years and years to solve these problems. And there is another category that is NP hard, that is not only hard to solve the problem, but it's also hard to verify that the problem is solved. For example, if we want to find the best cake recipe in the world, we not only have to try with so many different recipes, but then when we have the recipes, we have to ask basically everyone else in the world if they love this cake. So and maybe you are asking why this why we want to solve these kind of problems if they are too hard. And the reason it's because these problems are really common. And one of these NP hard problems actually is the crossword filling, the grid filling of a crossword. So it sounds easy and we can find these kind of crosswords and puzzles everywhere, but it is not easy to create those by a computer. So another examples on NP hard problems are cloud scheduling. And I find this, I think everyone here can find this really interesting. Logistic, for example, to optimize the truck routes for delivering, drug discovery, because we have to test millions of molecule combinations, or workforce scheduling, balance shift across employees. So as you can see here, even if they are really, really, really hard problems to solve, and actually we haven't, as a humanity, be able to solve this in an optimal way, there are problems that we can find everywhere with clients, with enterprises in every part of the world. So that's the reason we want to, or we as computational researchers want to solve these kind of problems. So again, we found this that looks innocent problem, the crossword generation, the grid filling, but it's, if you think of this in more depth, you can really quick why it's too hard to solve this problem, because words must fit first of all in the grid. Then you want to maximize the coverage, and by this I mean to use as many or to fill as many words as possible in the grid, but with minimizing the conflicts. And you want to assure that the words are going to be crossed because it's a crossword, and we have so many different words, right? And so many different sizes of grids we want to fill. So it's a combinatorial problem, but we have then a combinatorial explosion, because brute force, and by brute force, I mean trying all the different solutions, quickly fails. You just can't try to solve this by brute force. And again, I think it is really important to mention that we have these mirror enterprise challenges. Again, with cloud resource scheduling, with logistics optimization, with drug discovery.
So, and then we have the traditional approaches, which is the way we are going to try to solve all these kind of problems. Here, I'm setting some just examples. Backtracking, for example, means exploring one possible way, one possible path, and if it fails, step back and try a different one. So as to keep repeating, is as if we were testing the possible words in a crossword until something fits. If it doesn't, we remove it, we put another, and then we continue iterating over this process. The heuristics are rules of thumb. Those are shortcuts to help guide us towards a good enough solutions. It's like throwing a coin, but in a fancy way with some rules so that you follow specific paths and you don't repeat yourself in the way that you're going to be exploring randomly, but without going brute force and try to solve and explore the whole search space. Then we have constraint programming, where we're going to explicitly write down all the rules, and then the solver is going to systematically enforce them. Like if we were giving them a checklist, and then it's going over every single role and checking everything that it has to comply with before moving or taking another solution. So these are tools of optimization, and they are very strong when it comes to structure. They enforce the rules perfectly, and we have seen that they kind of give us an approximation to these kind of solutions. Some of them very good ones and almost the optimal solutions, but they have limits. For example, when talking about the crosswords, they don't understand meaning. They don't create. They cannot interact with human alike. As for example, in the crosswords, the solver can fill the grid correctly, but it can come up with a clue that feels natural. That is creative, like a witty clue that makes sense or that human could understand. Something that is creative or that makes us laugh, like those famous crosswords out there in different journals that we have. So similarly, an algorithm can schedule the workers or work with different combinations for drug generations, but it doesn't know how to prepare a report. It cannot have everything put in a natural language way, or follow any company's standards or the protocols or any communication standards once the solution has been found. Or for example, if we talk about agents, the traditional algorithms don't have the agency to interact with different tools, as for example, an email tool to send information over or create a memo. That's when generative AI comes in. Could you please go to the next? And well, this is a power combo that we have here, AWS Gen AI and traditional algorithms. So we're trying to mix the rigor with creativity. In another analogy, we can see the algorithms are the engineers. They make sure that, for example, a bridge stands strong or house. And the generative AI is the architect. It brings human-like insight, creativity, and also adaptability so that we have a smoother solution and something that we can communicate easier. So Amazon Bedrock lets us tap into the powerful models. So we can go for cloud, we can go for Nova, and we don't need to merge other services or infrastructure. And we can also put in different layers, for example, in SageMaker, the part of the algorithms, and then make them work together. So with the algorithms, we ensure the solution is valid, that we have some mathematical rigor over there. We also have the mathematical rigor in Gen AI. But besides that, we also make sure that the solution feels human, that it feels relevant, and as I mentioned previously, also that it feels creative. So we can have this combination of both sides. And why Bedrock makes it practical? So in Bedrock, we have a fully managed service. We don't need to spin up or maintain any infrastructure, just call the foundational models, and it connects seamlessly with services like SageMaker, as I mentioned, other computational ones, whenever we are trying to serve the algorithm itself, and orchestrate complex workflow easily. So that lowers totally the barrier of information, and it helps create this hybrid system in a smoother way.
Oh wow, this is awesome! I can't wait to see what the solution is. You just got my brain just running about this stuff.
So cool you're interested.
Yeah, we're getting into it. So for the solution, what we have done is to first we generate the word pool. So words and clues are generated using Amazon Bedrock models. The number of the words that we generate depends of the crossword sites because we can have many different of crossword sites. Then words are randomized, and then they are sorted by length. And the algorithm that we are using here starts by placing the longest word. This is a traditional algorithm, the longest words in the grid, and they try to add new words if they share some letters. But here comes the interesting part because each placement is checked and get a fit score. The fit score ensures that there is not conflict, but also the many cross we have, the higher the score is. So in this way, we are trying to get as many cross as we want because it's a crossword, right? And if a word doesn't fit, the algorithm retries with other positions and multiple rounds are tested, but the best solution only is the one that is kept. And these runs are constrained by time, and we are using 2 seconds only to compute these solutions. Again, because it's an NP-hard problem, we can't assure that we are going to get the optimal solution, that in this case will have as many words as possible. And because of this random beginning, we can have many different scenarios with the same input. But it's an approach, right? So here we go with the crossword demo. So here we have the crossword generator that we have created at Avahi. And currently we can actually also have different themes. We have prepared here for you these Amazon Web Services crossword in an expert level. So I would like you to see, for example, the hints, and maybe you in the audience can tell me the answer, and we can see if you know enough about Amazon Web Services. So first is serverless in a memory data store. Do you want the service of this?
There it is.
Yes, it is a live show, so definitely we will love to see your
Yeah, let me
comments.
get this
And-
little quiz.
oh, it's not revealing the answer.
Yeah.
Serverless cache. It's already there.
Yep, it's already there.
Which one do you see?
Serverless cached. Yeah,
Ah,
number
yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Serverless cache. Okay, very good. Another virtual private cloud service. Really easy, but I can. VPC.
Huh.
It's really easy, also, right?
Yeah.
I think I have clicked this too many times. This other one, and I think that will be it because of the time. Big data processing service.
Huh.
It's across. We can count.
Yes.
Which one?
I was telling them if they would like to take a guess.
Ah.
Julian and Prijat. No? Then let's reveal it.
EMR, yeah, that's what I was thinking of Hadoop or something.
Yeah, and the hints, well, first of all, the words are generated by Amazon Bedrock models, and then we generate the hints using this, and as you can see, they are pretty natural hints.
Yeah. So yeah, this brings us into my question. I was going to ask about this before you showed this. It's like, you know, if you do the crossword puzzle and we're doing it on like the English language, those words are finite, right? So you could just say that you have all the words in the human language. But I was wondering how it would work with things that are not in a dictionary, specifically names and terms like EMR is not in a dictionary. And this is pretty cool how they can like work with words outside of the finite like English language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where we can see the power of LLMs as they bring context, they put everything together so that they are not just random letters or tokens in the way to see it, but instead they are specific words that have a sense and that the LLM has paid attention to as for the context we're giving them. For example, in this case, it was trying to populate the grid with AWS services. So that's all the word spaces that it's going to be using. Regardless it's in the dictionary or not, it's part of the word space in AWS. That's what it's trying to bring together. And then the combinatory part starts with traditional algorithms.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it possible for it to solve it on its own without one by one, or is it necessary for it to do one row or column at a time?
Like, I mean, the part of the algorithm is going one by one.
Okay.
That's why we are using it. And otherwise, there should be also other algorithms where we can put just some words together and then start also randomize them and bring together the ones that fit and remove the ones that don't.
Yeah. Because I was thinking at some point it's some kind of try and fail. Maybe is that built into the algorithm, like to try this and say, hey, I got this one right, and then I'll try to do this horizontally, and it just fails and it rolls back. So I'm assuming that it has to be some kind of try and fail mechanisms with some of this, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was about to ask. Like, is there some kind of ranking that happens that if it solves the puzzle in first try, then you get more points compared to like it took 10 tries or something like that.
Not. No, currently no. The only score we have here is first the crossing score that I mentioned you. This is word by word. So
Okay.
the more crosses, the more score you get for the word particularly. But talking about all the puzzle, all the crossword, the more words you can get to fit, then the more score you get. So that's a better solution because we want to maximize the number of words. But yeah.
Yeah, this is super awesome, and thank you for showing us. So we only have a couple more minutes left in this interview. Can you tell us a little bit, or tell the audience where they can find you on social media, where you can find out more about Hawaii? You can plug all your socials, and how can we get in contact with you, and when can we expect the scientific paper on this?
Yes, we also have a slide for the Avahi LinkedIn, if there is a chance to show it. So that's you can contact us if you can go for the QR. We are at avahi.ai. We just rebranded everything in the company. So you're going to be finding all there the use cases that we have performed and ways to contact us. And personally, you can follow me on LinkedIn as Enrique Moreno. And also Diane is over there.
All
So that's
right.
how you can find us.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today. This was super exciting work you guys doing. I can't wait to see what this kind of turns into and how this is going to help with those MP hard problems and Gen AI. So thank you so much. I'm super excited, and I will be looking into this myself. So for the rest of the audience, we will be back in a few minutes with our next guest. So stay tuned.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to this exciting episode of Gen AI Live. My name is Brian Terry, and I'm a senior partner AI and data solution architect here at AWS, focusing on Gen AI migrations. And I'm joined here with my good friend and co-host, Perjad. Perjad, how about you introduce yourself?
Thank you, Brian. And hello, everyone. My name is Parijat Awasthi. Like Brian, I'm also a senior partner solution architect at AWS. And I help my partners and customers around their migration and modernization related problems and solve them using these days using generative AI and agentic AI. So AI everywhere. So, and this show is about AI, right? And this show is about bringing our partners, showing off the coolest, innovative things that they're doing in the space.
Yeah, and if this is the first time joining us, we're here every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So join us to find out about the latest and greatest of what our partners and AWS is doing in the Gen AI space. So, Perjad, we just had an awesome guest on, which is Avahi. We talked about NP hard problems in AI. I learned a lot. How about you?
Oh, yes. See, these days, typically, I think almost everybody is trying to solve problems using Gen AI. But I think they kind of reinforce the fact that not one solution fits all, right? It can be a hybrid approach. So traditional ML plus generative AI is probably the right way to solve some of the more complex problems.
Oh, absolutely. I know we theoretically just talked about a crossword puzzle, but it looked like it went into other things like, routing, things around cloud services. I mean, I think this is an awesome finding.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, that was quite great session. So and I'm quite excited to invite our next guest and hear what more, what is it that they are going to show us that will blow our mind.
All right, I second that. How about we bring in our next guest?
Yes.
Welcome to Gen AI Live. We're super happy that you're here. How about you introduce yourself?
Thank you. And yes, my first time on the show, so delighted to be here. I'm Alan Ranger. I'm the head of marketing at Nice Cognigy. Some of you may know us just as Cognigy, but on Monday of this week, we completed the acquisition. So we are now a wholly owned subsidiary of Nice. Biggest acquisition in European history for any AI company. So very proud, delighted to be joining the market leader in CX as the market leader in conversational AI.
Wow, congratulations on your merger, and thank you for being here. I'm super excited. I'm a big fan of your company. So can you tell the audience a little bit about what you guys do?
Yeah, sure. So all we do is we make AI agents for the contact center. And the reason we're in business is that traditional chatbots and unfortunately human advisor powered customer service sucks. It shouldn't suck. It's been around for 30 years, but we're still making people go and use the IVRs of 30 years ago. Press 1 for this, press 2 to that. It's almost like we don't want to, or some of our customers or the enterprises don't want to talk to customers. They just want to, put them on hold, make them go away, make them self-serve down the IVR click. It's all changed now. The advent of agentic AI, so I'll come on to that in a bit. The combination of generative AI with traditional conversational AI has transformed customer experience. There really isn't a customer service use case, whether it's inbound or outbound, that couldn't be handled by one of these AI agents. So yeah, the difference is the older first versions of chatbots, they were all flow-based. They could only go down one path. They couldn't always understand what was going on. They weren't always able to complete tasks. as I said, the advent of agentic AI has revolutionized this. We now have AI agents that act like humans. They can understand everything that's being said to them. So no more, I'm sorry, I don't understand. They will perfectly understand. You might ask it to do something that it's not been trained or set up to do, and it just won't do it. It's given a specific task, and it has the human-like reasoning to achieve that task, and then it has the capability to be integrated into whatever back-end system there is to actually achieve the task, and then finally can respond back to the caller in any human language. It speaks 100 different languages. It can switch language halfway through. It's just amazing. You really do have to try it.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That is exciting.
Yeah, I think the point that you mentioned, that these agents they work on specified goals, right? And that's what they are meant to do. They go out there and do it, and that's it. I think that's kind of causing or improving the success rate of these Gen AI related projects.
Yes, very much. I mean, you have to, first of all, ground it on a specific knowledge base and then give it a specific goal to achieve. I mean, I was at AI4 in Vegas a few weeks ago, and there were loads of companies. There were probably 100 companies that said they were agentic AI. And, there's so many companies have appeared, and quite a lot of them have just wrapped up a large language model and then put it out there. Fantastic demonstration, fantastic conversation, but it's not enterprise grade. It's not AWS grade. It's not ready to serve hundreds of thousands of customers. It's not gone through security. It not compliant, all that side of things. So yeah, you really do need that combination of bringing in the large language models to give it the brilliant human-like experience, bringing in the conversational AI sort of guidelines and flows where you need them to make sure it stays on task, but then also putting it in an environment where it's going to be enterprise ready and never let you down.
Yeah, I like what you said about that, like using AWS Bedrock or Amazon Bedrock to make it enterprise ready. What are some of the tools you're using in Amazon Bedrock to make it enterprise ready, to be able to scale and have security and all those needs?
You could never ask a marketing person technical questions.
So. Oh, no. Okay.
Here to tell you how wonderful it. No, yeah, it's a wonderful way. I mean, it's all AWS native, so yeah. You can get it in there straight away. One of the greatest values of it is this time to value. There is so much pressure on the people running customer service and customer experience to implement AI. Everywhere we go now, we meet this new character who's either the chief AI officer or the vice president of AI transformation. Often they report straight into the board. They're forming AI councils, and there's a huge pressure and expectation for them to revolutionize customer service with AI. And because it's native to AWS, we can just go live really quickly. So that time to value has been reduced from months down to weeks.
Yeah, see, I think that's really cool about the new Gen AI space. I mean, even you, like marketing, deeply about Amazon Bedrock and what it does and these things. So yeah, I want to downplay your skill level. This is super interesting.
Yeah. And I just want to mention that, speaking of enterprise class production scale, we announced something called as Agent Core during a New York Summit in July this year, and that's really helping these agents scale at the enterprise level, the production level, and it's providing all the necessary environment, if you will, like the runtime environments, the memory access to the browser tools. So that is all helping to scale these agents, as maybe even in your case as well, right? To take that load at the production scale and helping them be production ready.
That's it. And also you have to be ready to scale at a moment's notice in customer service. Yeah. So many sort of enterprises that are customer facing are vulnerable to some sort of event. If you're an airline, a weather event can suddenly quadruple, if not 10x all of your calls coming in if you're shutting airports. If you're an insurance company, the same thing. If a tornado hits, all of that, you just can't always predict this and scale up. I mean, one of our customers is Lufthansa, the German national airline. And in Germany, every now and then, the works unions, so the works councils, declare that they're going to go on strike, and they shut every airport with only 6 hours notice. They actually did that the morning of one of our conferences, which made this a bit of a challenge, particularly the opening speaker was from Lufthansa himself. But he was fantastic. I mean, he stood up and said, well, first of all, I'd like to apologize for disruption to your travel, but I'm very pleased to tell you that the Cognigy, or now the nice Cognigy AI agents, were able to handle 10,000 flight rebookings every minute. Now, there's no way you could have scaled up with humans with 6 hours notice to handle 10,000 flight rebookings a minute. And we think, we've done a bit of research, we're certainly within the top 5 busiest AI agents in the world. There's maybe 1 or 2 in China that are handling, a bigger capacity, but just in terms of being able to flick a switch and just use the elastic capabilities of AWS to scale up and be able to respond to that, regardless of the industry that you're in.
Yeah, that sounds massive. Yeah, definitely.
That's super impressive. Wow, this is super cool. I imagine it definitely helps the humans that are in those organizations, even they do customer service, to combine with these agents to really create an awesome experience for our customers. Can you talk a little bit about that? How the humans are helping the agents?
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons that we're here, as I said right at the beginning, is unfortunately customer service is really struggling. Since the pandemic, hardly any humans want to go and become human advisors in the contact center anymore. The ones that were there went and found different roles and that sort of thing. So all we're doing, in fact, none of our customers have reduced the number of human advisors that they have at all. It's just filling that gap because we know wait times have gone up. The poor human advisors are under pressure. There's a lot of churn. There's a lot of sickness. So what we're doing is taking away all of the tasks you don't need a human advisor to do. A human shouldn't sit there resetting passwords all day. Even complex tasks like rebooking flights, you don't need a human advisor to do it. What you need is your human advisors to become brand ambassadors and to really enjoy solving the more complex issues or the high value issues that the consumers are calling about. And also, there will always be a human in the loop with some situations. If you're in a regulated industry like financial services, an AI agent would be very good at giving financial advice, but it's not allowed to, particularly in places like Germany, where there's compliant with everything. So it has to be a regulated human being that's actually giving that financial services advice. So the call can go backwards and forwards between the AI agent and the human advisor. Great example is, one of Europe's very largest insurance companies. They get about 35 million calls a year. Every single call is answered by an AI agent that has effectively replaced the old IVR. So no more touch tone, no more bad speech recognition. You just say who you are and why you're calling. And the AI agent, first of all, does the identity stuff. So it identifies who you are and verifies your identity. It then understands your intent. And it gets it right 95% of the time. And what it does then is it goes off into the background and accesses all of the back-end systems. So it might say, maybe it's Brian calling because he had a car crash. And he's calling to find out whether his policy covers having a mental care. And so what it will do, it will access, first of all, the CRM to go and get all of the background data of all of the conversations that happened. It'll access the back-end insurance system to check on the policy. And then because it's a European company, it has to be handed over to a human advisor. That human advisor will have a warm handover. So it'll be, hey, this is Brian on the line. He's calling because of the car accident. He's trying to find out if he has a rental car. Yes, he does. You need to ask him if he wants it delivered to work or to the repair shop or to his house. And then it changes roles and becomes a co-pilot in the background, listening in because of the LLM capabilities and the language understanding. It understands everything that's being said, and it can even do things like providing next best responses to the human advisor. So they don't have to put the customer on hold. They can just, it will be popping up within their agent console, what the next response is. It's even answering questions in real time because it's listening in to what the caller is saying. Or it could be messaging, digital, exactly the same AI agents. And then at the end of the call, what it does is it does the call wrap up and does all of the updates. The human advisor checks it all and presses the button. So saves a huge amount of agent time and also takes all of the stress of constantly answering questions away from the advisor and just gives them the opportunity to do what they're best at, which is having great conversations with their wonderful customers.
Wow. That is really awesome.
You are pretty excited about it.
Yes, that is super cool.
So speaking of agents, right? So when you say that you build agents, so is it more like a contact center, if you will, kind of a solution, or these are more like standalone agents that a customer can maybe like buy or purchase or subscribe from you, and make it part of their own existing, solution that they might have. So, for example, if I have a contact center, I get these agents from Cognity, and now this agent starts, taking these calls for me.
Yeah, that's it. It's a blend of both. So we do have some pre-built AI agents. We've got about 100 different skills that they're capable of, and those skills could be integration with CRMs. It could be flight rebookings, that sort of stuff. But it also comes as a platform. So the original version of Cognigy, we've been around about 9 years, was that we had a flow-based deterministic conversational AI platform. You would decide, you'd work out the conversations, you'd work out all the intents, you'd build it all up. And it did a very good job. It was very good at solving those specific intents. But these days, not only is the experience agentic and human-like, the building of the AI agents are as well. So you can literally just describe what the AI agent is and give it a personality, give it a name, say, right, your task is to rebook flights. That's all you're able to do. These are the systems that you have access to. So it's all done just in human language. These are what things you can say. These are things you can't say. And just put all of those guardrails in place. And if necessary, create some flows for specific things. So if it was a financial services AI agent that was filling in an insurance form, you'd drop it into a flow to fill the form. But then it would go back to the LLM-powered conversation. So yeah, it's very, so yes, you can either have some of these AI agents pre-built. The other key thing is it works with all of the contact center platforms out there, all of the different CCASs. So despite the fact that we're now nice Cognigy, and obviously we're going to do a great job of tightly integrating in with the Empower platform, yeah, we're going to continue and in fact advance our roadmap of working with every single contact center platform that's out there in the market. And we will just provide the very best experience through our AI agents living with that environment.
Awesome. So I think you brought something for us to kind of take a look at. Is that
yes. You'll probably shut up of listening to my voice and my level of excitement. So yes, I brought along a little video that shows the experience. So we launched our Agentic AI platform nearly about this time last year. In fact, a lot of the shows I was at this time last year, people hadn't even heard of Agentic, and we launched in October, November time last year. And after the video, I'll go through a little case study of some of the ones that are live now. But yeah, I thought I'd bring along in a video our very best demo guy, which is in fact the co-founder and former chief executive, Phil. Phil is now the general manager of the NICE Cognigy business unit here at NICE, and is also the chief AI officer of NICE. So yeah, if we could play the video, that'll bring the whole thing to life.
All right. Awesome.
Hi, Phil. This is Anna, an Agentic AI agent from Cognigy. I got a notification that I should give you a call about Agentic AI. What can I do for you?
Hey, Anna. Thanks for calling. Before we get started, could you remind me what's so special about Agentic AI?
Absolutely. I'm not just your typical service bot. I can reason and make decisions to reach your goals, independently handle tasks, and use multiple tools to achieve the best results.
That sounds fantastic. Hey, I'd like to do a quick demo for our customers, but I'm a little busy right now. I'll call you back in a minute, all right?
Sounds like a plan. Talk to you again soon.
I'm extremely excited to announce Cognigy's Agentic AI agents, our LLM-powered AI that goes above and beyond anything that's available in the market right now. These AI agents can delegate tasks, collaborate with other AI agents and humans to deliver a highly human-like experience. Their ability to reflect and act dynamically leads to extremely good issue resolution, leading to an unparalleled service experience.
Hi, Phil. Shall we now get started with the demo?
Sounds great. Let's do a demo where I order some travel insurance from my current provider.
Sure. Let me just hand you over to an AI agent who is specialized in insurance.
Hi, Phil. This is Sam, your insurance support AI agent. I hear you would like to purchase travel insurance. Could you please let me know where you will be traveling?
Yeah, that'd be for a trip to the US next week.
Sure, let me check that for you. Before I send you the offer, I just need to verify your identity. Can you please read the code that I've just sent to you via SMS?
Sure, that's 23056.
Great, thanks. I verified you. You should now receive a link where you can see your personalized offer. Please feel free to take a look at it while I stay on the line. Perfect. The medium package is a popular choice. Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, thanks. That was perfect. Could I talk to Anna again, please?
Sure. Nice talking to you, Phil. Have a good day.
Hey, Phil. Hope the demo with Sam went well. What else can I help you with?
Yeah, just one more thing. Sprichst du auch Deutsch?
Ja, natürlich. Ich spreche mehr als 100 Sprachen.
Let's try one more. Nihongo mo hanashimasu ka?
もちろん日本語も話せますよ。
Thank you. I'll call back a little bit later. That was Agentic AI in action, the future of customer experiences, fast, dynamic, and seamlessly embedded into your business processes. With Cognigy, the AI agent workforce of the future isn't just slides. It's reality transforming customer service today.
Wow.
There you go. So, oh, there we go. Yeah, so that was the product we launched at the end of last year, and we've been delighted with the take-up from our customers in terms of them all wanting to move to the agentic platform. You know, these big organizations have spent years building fantastic deterministic AI agents, and all of them have said, no, we need to have the customer experience. We need to switch to the agentic model. We've even picked up some new customers and expanded the use cases. I mean, pretty much until the middle of last year, nearly all of the use cases were inbound customer service. But now we're seeing, because of the capabilities, outbound stuff that's moving into sales and marketing. So a great example is one of Europe's largest banks. They provide an insurance product. So when you take out a personal loan to buy a new car or to do some home improvements, you tick a box saying, I'm interested in insuring the payments of this loan. So if you lose your job or you're sick and you can't make the payments, there's an insurance policy that covers it. Again, it's one of those things that has to be sold by a licensed, regulated human. But these very expensive financial advisors were making outbound calls all day, and they had a 15% pickup. You know, people just weren't answering the phone, or it was going to voicemail or wrong person. So what we did was we built them an agentic outbound AI agent, and it just placed the call on their behalf. It would engage with the person who's picking up in a hyper-personalized way. It would say, hey, Brian, you tick the box about taking out loan insurance. You need to talk to one of our advisors. It'll take about 5 minutes. Is now a good time? And you might say, no, it's not. You know, call me back in 10 minutes or call me back in an hour, whatever. And it would just keep calling back and doing it in a very personalized and engaging way. And what it did, it transformed the whole business. It went from having like a 15% pickup to 85% of the people that were then being transferred to the human advisors actually went ahead and purchased the product. So a massive return on investment. And this is the first step. I mean, it's going to transform outbound sales and marketing. As a marketer, it's delightful. I mean, it's the ability to have a one-to-one personal relationship with billions of people. I mean, it could even be, you know, you could be a shampoo company. You could put a QR code on the back of the shampoo bottle. And if your consumer wants to ask you anything about the shampoo, they just scan the QR code, start a WhatsApp message. It might say, hey, I've been using this shampoo and it made my hair go frizzy. So the agent on the other end knows that which product that they're using, and they also know this person now has frizzy hair, and it can then use its knowledge base and its understanding to recommend products that will stop the frizzy hair, and maybe even send a voucher down through WhatsApp for them to take to the retailer and go and buy the product. And if the consumer doesn't stop that relationship, you know, in a few weeks' time, as long as the permissions are there, the shampoo company says, saying, hey, how are you getting on with your frizzy hair? I've got these wonderful new conditioning products for frizzy hair. You're going to love it. And send more vouchers. So you've got this lifetime backwards and forwards relationship with consumers of, you know, fast-moving consumer goods. It's going to be tremendous. I'm really excited, you know. But you can have QR codes on bus stops, whatever. You could, just start a conversation from anywhere, even from an Instagram, something like that.
And these are so impressive ideas, indeed. And I'm thinking in my mind, like, this is making, you know, customer service so much closer to the customers.
Exactly. Yes, it's hyper-personalized.
Yeah, hyper-personalized. And what I really loved was the fact that, you know, when the person called back again, or when the person got the call, the agent remembered the context. That exactly. This is the context of the conversation.
Yeah, it has both short-term and long-term memory. So it has the short-term of the conversations as it's happening, so you don't repeat yourself. But it also has all of the long-term memory of every other conversation you've ever had with the enterprise.
Wow. I find it super interesting that it can just switch languages like that. I mean, that's
cool,
super interesting. Very cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, that smile on Phil's face is genuine. He really does appreciate the coolness of the product.
Wow, that is super impressive. So, like, I know you talked a little bit about some of the industries that are kind of using this. Can you talk a little bit about the biggest industries that kind of using this? Is it healthcare? Is it insurance? Who's using these kind of AI agents?
As I said, we just make AI agents for enterprise contact centers, so the people having, you know, millions or millions of calls. But yeah, it's right across the board. We're very strong in travel, so we have a lot of airlines. I mean, just the Lufthansa Group has, excuse me, has 4 or 5 different airlines handling millions and millions of calls. Again, financial services, that was a good test of the enterprise readiness, because if we can deal with Europe's largest financial services company in terms of GDPR and compliance and EU AI Acts, and again, they're handling millions, particularly in insurance. But yeah, anywhere where you've got very high volumes, and to be honest, even complex use cases at volume. Things like, card fraud, that sort of stuff in financial services. At the moment, you just get the text saying, sorry, your card has been blocked because of fraud, call this number. And that's the worst text you get, because your card is locked, you can't do anything. You have to call them, you go on hold, you have to repeat yourself, verify yourself. And you could just have an AI agent making the outbound call saying, your card has been locked, doing the identification, the verification, and then taking you through the normal security process of which of these transactions do you recognize, and it can be solved in seconds rather than that dread that you get when you get one of those messages from the bank.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then the last actually is also retail, and that's really picking up. So, and again, handling all of the stuff that you don't need humans to do. Where's my order? Doing returns. We've got one customer that's got this really innovative return system, where you send a picture in of the product. It's a sportswear company, and maybe it's a jacket with a broken zipper, and then the AI works out whether the damage has been caused by somebody that's forced it or whether it was a faulty product. If it can't work it out, it actually then sends a Teams message to a human who looks at the picture. It says, hey, human, do I give a warranty return, or is this some damage? And the human will then go back to it and give the decision. So yeah, it's that we will always have the human in the loop in there, and it's a really interesting paradigm where the AI will actually not transfer to the human to get the answer; it'll just ask the human's advice.
Huh. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. So I mean, like all these use cases are making me think that humans will still have a lot of work to do. In fact, AI is opening up new channels, new frontiers, unlocking new values for the businesses, as well as making experiences so much better for the end customers.
Yeah, that's it. And also the people that were human advisors, loads of them are now moving on to different parts of their careers. They're becoming conversational designers, because surprise, surprise, human advisors have great conversations. They know how to design one. And because you no longer need the technical programming side of it to build an AI agent, it can just be done using agentic capabilities. They're able to create these AI agents, and they're becoming AI managers, AI supervisors, or they're going on to the ethics committees, all this sort of thing. So yeah, there's a lot there. And the ones that just want to stay as human advisors, they're really enjoying the ability that they have to have great conversations. We sponsor a program in Europe called the Agent of the Future, and every time there's a big conference, we'll have 20 or 30 of them will come in and we'll spend a day explaining the technology. And then the brave ones join me on stage with their bosses in the front row. And we had a fantastic panel in London the other day. And one of the agents, or the advisors, she was working for a travel company, very talented, multilingual. And she just said, I love AI because it just takes away all of that mundane stuff. I don't want to be task-oriented. I want to be value-oriented. I want to be a brand ambassador. And I heard the other day she's been promoted twice since that presentation 2 months ago. So she's really sort of accelerating up through the career ladder, because she's one of these people that's embracing AI, working with it, and providing amazing customer service for her employer.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah. So speaking of, probably the last question for me, are these agents available on Marketplace, AWS Marketplace?
Yes, it's all available through Marketplace. And again, that's hugely valuable to our customers. That it's just there. It just takes all of the friction out of procurement. They can just, and as I said at the beginning, it's fully integrated as well. It's native AWS. So you can literally just, put the whole sort of procurement through Marketplace and off you go.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We only have a few more minutes left in this interview. Can you tell our audience where they can find out more about your company? And if you want to plug any social media or anything and put it out there, so how they can contact you, where can we get a hold of you and your company and find out more about solutions?
Just to type Cognigy into your search engine, or I should say now type in nice Cognigy. And there's a lot of stuff actually for typing Cognigy now because of the acquisition. It's been big news. But yeah, you can either, if you're a nice customer, you can speak to them. They'll be able to help you if you're a Cognigy customer. But otherwise, just go to cognigy.com. Or in fact, any of the other contact center platforms, we have a partnership with all of them. They'll be able to help you, and we'd be delighted to help you solve your customer service and customer experience use cases.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here, and please come back. We would love to see where this technology is going to go. I imagine it's just going to be video at that point. So
the rate of change is amazing. As you can see by my grey hair, I've been around it for a long time, and this has been the most exciting 3 years of my career.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, audience. Well, we have wrapped up another great show of Gen AI Live. Again, you can join us every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the latest and greatest to see what AWS and its partners is doing in the Gen AI space. My name is Brian Terry, and this is Parijad, and thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.